If you're a small business owner, you've probably wondered at some point in time, where did your money go? I have sales, but I don't have cash in the bank to prove it. So let's go over two main issues that most small business owners have when it comes to their bookkeeping. One being sales, but no cash in the bank, and then invisible leaks that most business owners do not know that they have. And also, I'll give you my solution. It's a free solution at the end of this video. So the number one thing I want to discuss is the difference between sales, revenue, and actual cash in the bank. Sales and revenue come from when you price your services. So if you are, let's say you are a coach or let's just go with coach. Let's just say you're a business coach to women entrepreneurs, and you are selling your services for, let's say, $500. And it costs you, let's say, 5 hours in your time. And let's say your actual spend on the programs that you use for that is another $200. So you know that $200 of your coaching services is eaten up. That leaves you with $300 for your time. And out of that $300, you also have to account for taxes, any association fees, any fees that you need to pay to remain in business, like insurance and all of that stuff. You get the idea. So how much does that actually leave you to pay yourself? Probably very lean, if not nothing. So that is where the difference between actual sales and revenue and cash in the bank come into play. And that is also a product of reactive bookkeeping versus proactive bookkeeping. Proactive bookkeeping allows you to price your services and your projects accordingly because you know your numbers, you know what your expenses are, you know where your time is being spent versus reactively of I'm going to charge $500 for this service. I'm going to use X, Y, and Z because it makes my job easier in theory. And then that's just how I'm going to approach sales in my business. And then later on in the year, you realize, crap, I'm not making any money. That's the difference between proactive bookkeeping and reactive bookkeeping. And that is where the number one problem in businesses is where you have sales, but you don't have the cash in the bank to reflect it. In service-based businesses, it is really easy to creep up on your expenses because of the shiny object syndrome versus the actual value that it produces for the service on your client or the deliverability of it. If you're a product-based business, you've probably had a lot of increases over the last couple of years just in your cost of goods alone. If your sales price of your items did not reflect that price increase of your cost of goods, then you're going to have a problem with your profitability in the end and the amount to pay your vendors, pay any of the people that help you, pay yourself, and pay your taxes. So that is where the difference is of actual sales versus cash in your bank. Now, the other one is the invisible drain, the invisible spending on your business. Now, I'm not calling or singling any one of you out, so if that's how you feel, I apologize. I have the same issue too. Just going to raise my hand. I have the same issue too in my business, and I'm also doing proactive bookkeeping where I think I will go in and I will cancel a subscription, and I'm just like, I get to doing it, but then I get distracted by a client need or one of my kids needs something, or I just forget because I get up to go get some water before I go and do that one task of canceling. Everyone has that issue, but it is such a silent, invisible drain on your hard-earned money. And that's where proactive bookkeeping comes into play, where every month, if you are reviewing your expenses with your bookkeeper or reviewing the expenses on your own, if you're doing your own bookkeeping, you're able to see, crap, I did not cancel that like I thought I did. And you can either immediately go in and cancel right there, have an assistant cancel it, put it on like their top hot priority to take care of that next day. Or you can just make a note to say, hey, maybe I could actually utilize this because it does have the opportunity to alleviate spend in another area, spend in your time, spend in a contractor's time. I don't know. There are ways you can approach these invisible leaks, especially if it's a one-time lump sum annual fee that you have to pay. It can also allow you to take into consideration the amount of deductions that you have as your business. Now, I don't do taxes. What I do is I categorize, I tell the story of your spending to your tax preparer. So that way, when I do your bookkeeping and we review your expenses, you're able to say to your CPA or your tax preparer, this is where I'm at so far at the end of Q1. At the end of Q2, we're projected to do this. At the end of Q3, we're projected to do this. And at the end of the year, we're projected to do this. What are the things that I need to anticipate or think about going forward based off of this trajectory of my business? Now, today is April 14th, 2026, and a lot of you are dreading making that payment and filing tomorrow. But just because we are 4 months into the year, that does not mean you're done for the year. The one free way that you can tackle all of this that I've already discussed is by setting money dates with yourself, with your business owner, with your assistant, or hiring me to come in and proactively keep your books. I have plans starting from micro, tiny bookkeeping services where we meet once a quarter and we go over your expenses. I'm just in your books on a weekly or monthly basis, looking at things, categorizing things, so you can just go in and check things out, to a full service bookkeeping service where it's $300 to $500 a month, and we're able to have full-on meetings and discuss things. If you want me to talk with your tax preparer, that's an additional fee. If you want me to handle your AR, your AP, that's an additional fee. Receipt management, that's a different fee. Not gonna lie on that one. So there are ways where you can do it. You can have a money date with yourself and just go into Excel. If you're in QuickBooks, that's phenomenal. Go into your QuickBooks account, categorize your transactions on a weekly basis, on a bi-weekly basis, at bare minimum on a monthly basis. So that way you can proactively take action the next month on the things that you need to focus on. If you need someone if you're a small business and you don't have the time, I am more than welcome to help you out. My micro or my tiny bookkeeping services start at $300 a quarter, so $100 a month. You just need to take charge. Don't put your head under the covers and just ignore it until you absolutely have to take action. If you're proactive, or if you have someone there holding your hand and just saying, hey, you need to take a look at this expense because it's creeping up, and I think there's a way you can cut back so you can keep more of your money, or this customer is paying late, it's going to affect your cash flow in the next 3 months tremendously. Those are the types of things that I help my clients with, and that I'd love to help you with. If this is something that you are not in the position to pay for right now, I am starting weekly lives on my channel where I go over my own bookkeeping and we just body double. You're there doing the bookkeeping with me. We have our bookkeeping date together, so that way we can keep on top and be proactive, at least hold each other accountable. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Sarah. I'm the head bookkeeper at Be Social Solutions, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.